say?
Is it clear?
Yeah. No, I mean it's you're a little fuzzy, but I think it's fine.
Okay, was the one I called with before better? Here's
No,
my
no,
phone
it's
and this
fine.
is my computer.
It's fine, I think. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it. Let me actually. I don't think I'm gonna need Rita
Let
because
me also just call in. Can I also just call in and you can tell me which one's better? I'll call in with my phone. Not a good idea.
stay on here. Just stay on here. It's fine.
Okay.
No, you're good. You're good.
On the vibration.
All right, sweet. Let me just pull up what I got for you. So let's just get after it. So how are you doing today?
I'm finding you.
Good. Yeah. So obviously you released Rise with us last week, and you moved over Stay Out of Sight, and they're both really seemingly doing really well. So that's very exciting.
Thank you.
Do you have anything specific you could say about either song, either a story about either of them, or anything about them?
Yes. They both have like really like personal deep meanings for me.
Okay.
So the one Stay Out of Sight that I wrote, that one was I believe 2 years ago.
Okay.
I couldn't get myself to release the song because honestly I don't even know if it's like something that I really want to talk about because it's like a hurtful, very, very hurtful situation. It was when I thought was like the darkest moments, like why, like what did I do to deserve this kind of time? But then I found a way to, I wrote the song right when I was feeling the way I was feeling, and then I went to record it in the studio, like, and then, I sent it in for mixing and mastering. They sent back the song, and I was just like, I don't know. It just doesn't, I just wasn't feeling it. I was like, there's something wrong. I can't place my finger on it. I was trying to tell the guy who mixed and mastered. I was like, I don't know. It just feels like, like I couldn't quite describe what was wrong with the song, but I just was like, it's just not, And then I called my friend, which, one of my friends from Nigeria, we usually talk about like music. He also does music. And then he was like, okay, send it over and I'll tell you what's wrong, or, whatever feedback you have to give him. So I sent it to him, and then he was like, okay, he played it. He was like, you know what? Let me call you back tomorrow. Because he gives me honest opinions and things. So I was like, okay, that's fine. Take your time. And then the next morning he called me. He was like, oh my God, I've played the song like 100 times. He was like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the song. The song is amazing. I was like, really? And then at the time, after a while, I started playing it because I'm a hair braider. And I used to do it from home before until I have my salon now. But then I played it for a few of my clients and some other songs too. And it's always seemed to be like amongst like the maybe top 5 for some people. People who don't like sad songs do not like it. They're like, well, that's the least one because it's really sad. Like you can feel the sadness. Like the song can make you sad if you want to be sad, And then some people, some of my customers, especially one, her name is Bella. The first time she heard the song, she started crying. I was braiding her hair and she got goosebumps. She was like, oh my God, what are you doing to me? Look at this. I was like, what? So I'm like, damn, all these people I'm playing this song for, they love the song. And I wrote the song when I wrote it. Like, I feel like if I didn't write that song that time with the way I was feeling, if I waited like to record it today, it would probably come out differently, because like today I feel now I can listen to the song, but when I first wrote it and I recorded it, I would play other songs like Rise. I used to always play Rise because Rise makes me feel like, like it's like uplifts me. That's kind of like, that's what I used to play, and I just would not play Stay Out of Sight. And then it wasn't until recently I was like, you know what? I can actually play this song now and not even feel sad and actually be happy. So I was like, okay, now it's time to release it. Because at the time, with the way I was feeling, it would be like, I don't know, like it would be horrible for me to like release that song. I can't. So I decided, like, you know what? Rise was the one I was always playing. My son loves Rise. He was always singing it. Look, every time I asked him what's your favorite song, he was like, my favorite song is Rise. And then he knows all the lyrics to it. Yeah. So, but then Rise, when I wrote Rise, at first was I've always wanted to write a song like that, but I never really couldn't figure out the right beats to write it to, or like the right time. And then this one day, me and my son, we were like playing together on the bed, and he kept talking about, oh look, I want to fly like a bird, and I want to, oh, and then look, we were just making all this like animal things. And for some reason the idea just kind of came to mind, like, you know what, let me write it to this person. I was like, and then I told him like, hey, let's write a song. And then I started playing a few beats. I was like, oh, this particular song, because I sometimes when I hire someone to do beats for me, I usually do like a few beats, so I could have like 5 or 10 at one time that I haven't done anything to. So I was like, this particular one sounds like the one that I should write the song rights to. And then I started writing it. And at first, the words I was using was like all the childish words my son was using. And after a while, I was like, okay, let me make it actually sound mature. So I started like taking out those childish words in there. And then when I got to for some reason, when I went to record it in the studio, in my head, I'm like, is this sounding childish? Just because like I knew. So I was like, okay. And then when I went to go record it in the studio, the guy that because I like working with like the same people, the guy that recorded it for me, he was like, I think that was like his least favorite of my songs. He likes there's another song. The first song I did with him is not out yet. It's called Fairy Tale. He was obsessed. He loved that song. So it kind of like, to him, that's my favorite. That's his favorite song of mine. So then after that, we did Lonely Without You. He loved that one too. And then we did a few more songs. And then when I did Rise, he was like, I don't know, it's just not like the other songs. So then, somewhere in my head, I was already kind of feeling like, is the song sounding childish? And then when he said that, I was like, huh. So then I wrote the song. I was like, I'm not doing this for me because I like playing that song. Even before it got mixed and mastered, when we finished recording in the studio, I told him to give me the MP3 version of it, like raw. And I would just like blast it in the car sometimes. And then when I got the final version, it was the first song that the first version was the final version. He sent it to me. It was like, hey, preview. I was like, I love it. I just love it. Like, it was the easiest song. We didn't spend too much time in the studio because I feel like he wanted to be done with it because he was like, he wants to move on to the other ones, my other songs that he was excited about. He wanted to move on to those ones. So that was like the song that I spent the least amount of time writing, the least amount of time in the studio. The first version was the final version when I sent it in for mixing. So I was like, huh. But I wasn't playing it for anybody. I was playing it for myself because I'm like, okay, the guy in the studio, he doesn't seem to like it very much. And then there was this one night in my salon, there was this customer that we were braiding her hair, and we were running late. I was playing her a few of my songs. We were playing songs on TV, and then I played a few of my songs. And she was tired and sleepy. And I just said to myself, let me just play this Rise. I'm not going to say it's mine. I'm just not going to say anything because, again, somewhere in my head, I'm like, it sounds like my son loves it, so I was like, let me just play it. That was the first time I played her song. And then she was sleepy already, right? And then I played the song, didn't see anything. And then when the song was done, she was like, oh my God, can you play that song again? That song just reminded me of heaven. I was like, really? I was like, that's me. She was like, no way. And then the other lady she works for me. She was like, how come you never played this song before? I was like, I don't know. Like, somewhere in me was like, maybe it's not good enough to to brag about, but it was good enough for me to blast it in the car. Just like, I want to listen to it. My son loves it. He sings it all the time. It was good enough for that. But I was like, maybe I should play this more for people. And then one time I played it for another guy, and then I played a few of my songs. And then when I played that one, he took out his phone and he was recording it. And when he was done, he was like, yes, it was like, I know you didn't release it yet, but I'm going to be blasting this in my car. I was like, really? So I was like, oh, wait, the song I guess it depends on who you ask. Like different songs speak to different people. Some people, their favorite songs of mine is Stay Out of Sight. Some people is Ooh La La. A lot of people is Hero.
Wow. That's really interesting. Yeah, you said a lot of great stuff there. So Rise was a song that you kind of had uncertainties about. The producer,
yeah.
you didn't think liked it, but then everybody else you showed it to gave you positive feedback.
Yes. But I also noticed mostly mostly females. It was almost every female who listened to that song loved it. The men who listened to it and loved it. Some people was like, Some people are like, it's nice, but stay out of sight, stay out of sight, stay out of sight. Like a lot of people. And then when I released it, and then when you releasing the song, it's like, and then when you release the song and you submit it for playlists, right? You get a lot of feedback from playlist people, right? And I was like, and then it's a whole other, something that you hear. Like when I first did the playlisting service with Playlist Push, like, why did I release Stay Out of Sight? Because a lot of the playlists, the people who already liked me and they always put my song, like every time I pitch, there's some people who already like me. Whatever I pitch to them, they add to playlists, right? And then there's this, other people who's more like on the neutral end. They all had something good to say. Nobody had anything bad to say, but they'd be like, oh, but we just don't have a playlist that suits that vibe right now or something, so that song got a lot of rejection on Playlist Push. But then I tried your Songfly.
Song Tools.
Yeah, that song tool.
Feature, yeah.
oh my God, I spent the least amount of playlisting service ever on Stay Out of Sight. And it got, at some point I took a picture. It got amazing. When I spent the first, what I spent was like $100, and I got playlisted into like over 700,000 followers.
Wow.
Like a total of, and then you know how you have those percentage in the on the platform.
Yeah.
At some point I was at 99%, where
Wow.
0 is the worst and 100 is the best, right?
Yeah, it's
At
amazing.
some point I was at 99%, and then you have BI and all those. I was like, why is it so different? Like this particular song, you know what I mean, on Playlist Push. And then I got a lot of like people reviewing it, like, wow, this is amazing. It's just like, like I feel like when it comes to music, it's like what you think you know, you don't know. You never know. The song that you think, you know what I mean? Like when I first put it on Playlist Push, I was a little bit discouraged by because a lot of people who added me were and then I got added to a lot of like what's it called? Playlists that's like what is meditation playlist. I was like, it's not a meditation song. Like it's not even But anyway, I got ultimately, I'm grateful. But it's just so nice to see how, like, or should I say, it's a little bit surprising to see how different the people on your platform loved it. Apparently, if you look at the results of what I got, and then the people on Playlist Push, a lot of people, those people who already love me, like I said, the comments was all great. But a lot of them didn't have, like, for example, of course, it was too slow for some playlists. Like, it was too sad for some playlists. Some people said the song was angry, but not angry enough, like, or something like that. I was like, some people, you know what I mean? Some people like, oh, the song is too, like I don't know. It's one thing or the other. But I think maybe the thing about your platform, I don't know how it works, is I don't get to see those comments from those who rejected it and why they did, right? I only see the good ones. So it was good to see, because I had it on for like 20 days, I believe. So I was only seeing the good, and the good was a lot. It was a lot of good. You can see it, right, on your end?
No, I actually can't. So this is great. I didn't know that you ran a campaign with us. I thought you were doing this.
And it's like when I have a question, I'm like, oh God, what do I do? And I was browsing through it. I think I'm not done exploring it. But then I saw that, I was like, oh, it's only, the first one I tried was like 50% off. So instead of 200, I paid 100. So like, I'll just try it. And then I tried also the Meta ads, the Facebook ads, just like to see how it goes. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh, this is good. And I also tried, I feel like I'm not sure, but I feel like one time when I was browsing through your website, I saw a page called Members Media, right? I feel like I clicked through from your website, but anyway, I hired those ones too to playlist my song. Okay. I feel like I saw it on your page for some reason. So I was like, oh, I've seen these people before. And if I'm seeing it on your platform, then they must be legit. So I hired them. And then, it's been looking okay.
I understand cautious optimism, but it's doing great. Is the growth of your songs always this quick? Because it's really taking off. I mean, it's already at almost 500,000. And
so it depends. Some of the songs, I don't know about the timeline for. The first songs that I released, like when I first started, I was just doing whatever. I would just, see this website, pay them, and then I found out like, oh no, these people, I'll never hire them again. Oh no, and then I learned that, oh, these ones are good. These ones, they said they were going to do something. They didn't do anything, just took my money and that's it. You know what I mean? Like I was just doing a lot of things that I did, because I don't have anybody who does this around me to ask. Like everything I find on the internet, apart from like the people in the studio, and they don't really have like resources like that. So like a lot of the things that I found, like the person who does my video, I found him on the internet, but then he's a great person. And then he ended up referring me to the guy who does my mixing and mastering right now. Because the other people that I hired online before on Fiverr, and also somebody referred me to, it just wasn't great.
Fiverr stuff is sketchy.
Yeah. So then when again, when you guys approached me, I was like, I'm gonna give it a try. Like that's I feel like what you it sounds good. I mean, why not? Another thing that's gonna happen is the worst case scenario is I'll find out that this is like another mistake, right? Because I made a lot of mistakes in this thing. I've done things that worked. I did things that it was a total waste of money, and I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if there's something wrong with me, like when it comes to the way I keep going and I keep going, even though like some of the things that I've gone through, and I sometimes I want to give up. And I have some people who definitely were like, look, if I know anybody who is going to give up on music, like who tells me like somebody else can say it and I'll be like, okay, but you absolutely not. Like you can't give up on music. Like I have people who believe in me so much that it makes me feel like, you know what, I must be onto something. Like my parents, for example, like I have a brother who was doing music while we were like younger, and my dad would always tell him to find something else to do, find something else to do, find something else to do. And like there's a bunch of things, like, you know, Nigerian parent, they want you to go to, they want me to be a doctor. You know, he was like, oh, when I was doing hair and they found out I was doing hair in the US, they were like, oh, why don't you get a job, like get an actual job for what you studied? And I was telling him like that, okay, this actually pays really good. Like, you know, I make my time, I charge what I want, but they just, you know, it's not that job with the title like a software engineer or like a manager of some, you know, big company and stuff like that. But, you know, I ended up doing it up until the point where I now have my salon, and they're like, okay. But like I said, when it comes to my music, for my parents to actually believe in my music, that's huge. Because like they just don't, you know what I mean? Like there's kind of people that who, like when my brother tried to do it, they're like, just find something else to do. Like they don't kind of support, you know, things like that, if that makes sense. But they love my songs. So I was like, this is, you know, this is something that I should be doing, you know, it's a talent. Plus, when I first started writing songs too, it was a long time ago when I was 16, right? I used to like write lyrics. Like when I listen to songs, I sing along. Sometimes I make my own words into the song or like a whole different. And then I was like, this seems easy. You know, like maybe I used to be like, this seems so easy. I should try it. So I tried writing like a song when I was 16. I would just write it and put it away. I never showed anybody. And then one day my aunt saw the things I wrote and she was like, wait, did you write this? I said, yeah. She was like, this is amazing. And I was like, really? I didn't believe her because she's my aunt. I mean, what's she going to say? She's going to say it's good. She's not going to like try to crush my dreams, right? So when I got into college, I was like, you know what? Let me find something I can do on the side to make money. So I went online. I found Fiverr. I saw people offering different things for money. So I was like, let me try this. Let me see if people are gonna pay for my songwriting skill. So I put up a service. I'm gonna write this for you for this price. And then I had somebody who hired me. The first person who hired me to write a song. I was nervous. I was like, okay, nervous. Like I'm about to find out if I truly have a talent for this or if it's just like absolute no, because somebody's paying, you know, this is not just a friend. So I was like, okay, let me do this. And then he hired me. I wrote, he sent me a beat and told me to write a song with, didn't give me any guide on like how to go. So I was like, okay. And then I wrote the beat for him. I wrote the song. I played the beat in the background and I used my phone to record myself singing it while the beat is playing. And then I sent it to him with the lyrics. And then he didn't ask for a revision. He didn't ask me to change anything. He left me a 5-star review with tip, like on the first submission. I was like, oh my God, I can't write songs. Like I'm writing a song. I'm writing songs and people are paying. And the next thing you know, somebody else ordered. And the next thing you know, somebody else ordered. And then at the time, over time, I ended up writing like over 1,000 songs. Yeah,
Wow.
like I was now like one of the best people that was getting hired to write songs on the platform. So I was like, okay, you know what? I am a songwriter. And then sometimes when people ask me, like, I like singing, but I used to always sing in the bathroom. Like I was too shy to like go to sing in front of people. So sometimes people will be like, was that you singing? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, wow, you have a beautiful voice. And I'm like, really? Thank you. But I don't know if I really believe that. And then there was one time we went to church and my mom barely gives compliments, right? She barely gives me compliment or anything. But there was this one time we went to church and there was this girl singing and I was like, oh my God, her voice is so beautiful. Like I was getting chills from her singing. And my mom was like, you sound just like her. I was like, really? And she just said it with a straight face, didn't even, I was like, really? And to me, that's like stuck in my head. She doesn't even remember she told me that, but and then one time when I went to join my aunt who's a pastor, like I went to join the choir, but then they gave me a mic to sing on stage and I was shaking. I couldn't sing. Like I held the mic with one hand and it was shaking. And then I used the other hand to hold the other hand to stop it from shaking. And it was both shaking. So I was like, oh, never again. I'm never going on stage again. So then I would just like help them in the background, like help the choirs get the song to sing. And I became the person who would who was suggesting songs to sing. And then later on, when I started, and I never had like any voice training, vocal training, whatever in my entire life. When I go to the studio and I start singing, the studio engineer kind of guides me. Oh, okay, this part whisper or like breathe or like okay then go, like and stuff like that. Because and then sometimes they say some things, some words, I'll be like, what does that mean? And then they're shocked that I don't know what that means. So I was like, I don't. It was like, well, aren't you like a professional? They think that I've been doing this professionally. I was like, no, I don't, like, because they're like, this guy's like, one of them, like, he went to like Berkeley School of Music. He learned, like, actually studied music. So he's using all these technical terms. Every time he talks to me, I'll be like, look, always remember, I didn't study this thing. I'm just doing it because I know how to do it. So if you want to tell me to some of the words that he used, I'll be like, just break it down for me, like describe it, like, like a layman's explain, like I don't know anything. And that's how they work with me. Like when I go to the studio, he's trying to use these words, or like if he has a feedback for me to give the person who made my beats, right, I tell him to copy it and write it for me, and I'll copy it and paste it. Because by the time I communicate to the guy, I might change. He might be like, what are you talking about? I don't understand, you know what I mean? Because I don't know the technical aspect of doing music. I just know I know how to sing it and I know how to write it. And that's about it. And a lot of the writing too, I also learned along the line when I was getting paid to write songs. Like there was this one time somebody hired me on Fiverr and he wants me to write the song, but he wants me to use the rhyme scheme, A, B, B, A, he described the whole rhyme scheme and how he wanted it. So I was like, I don't know what that means. I didn't tell him that. And I went to Google it. What does that mean? I was like, oh, see, I know I do it all the time, but I don't know that it's called rhyme scheme. I don't know that it's, you know what I mean? So like a lot of those things I started learning little by little as I go. And today I know a lot, but I still don't know as much as a lot of people would think that I know. Like you can tell me something, do this. And I'll be like, what do you mean by that? And you'll be shocked, like, how do you not know that? Like you do music, right? You know what I mean? So I was trying to like tell people, like, just explain to me in layman's term, right? What do you want me to do?
Wow. Yeah. No, that's really interesting. I mean, that Fiverr story is so fascinating. I had no idea that you had done that. That's awesome. Yeah. I was. Have you read Americana, by the way? What we were talking about being a hairdresser, that reminded me of that. Do you know what that is?
No, Americana? Is it a book?
It's a book. It's by a Nigerian American author. It's just about kind of hair in Nigeria. I don't know. I read it in high school. Thought maybe you would be interested. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, I was gonna ask you too, because you mentioned some key things there. You mentioned your family and then church. I was gonna ask you because there is like a very church kind of soundy element. I heard kind of almost a gospel sound. Is that true? Do you kind of have influence from the church to that? So where you started singing?
So when I wrote that song, I wasn't intending to make it sound like gospel or like make it sound like, I just wrote it based on what I was feeling, like the words that I felt like described the most. It wasn't until when it wasn't until when I released the song that I knew that it had like some gospel elements to it. And then some of the playlist people actually mentioned it. Like, oh, I like how it's, you know what I mean? I was like, oh, I didn't think of that. Like I didn't, like it was around the time that I released it. Again, I told you I wrote the song like a while back, like maybe 2 years ago. But then I'm just realizing now that it actually sounds, but I mean, when it comes to the when I said breaking shackles and breaking chains, that's obviously, we say that in church. Like, my aunt, when she wants to preach, we're like, we have to break the shackles and break the chains. So that one was, but then when I sit down and think about it, I was like, oh wait, it does sound like this song could thrive. Like, how this song, for example, what's it called? Ordinary. Like it is gospel, but it's not gospel. Do you know what I mean? Like if I don't know if is it classified gospel, but again, like I said, I don't know too much about music when it comes to, I think the most difficult thing for me when I write a song is trying to identify what genre this is. Like it always gives me like, I almost always never know what genre I just wrote. Like what is this? So when I finished in the studio, I was like, engineer, what do you think? Is this pop? Is this R&B? Is this like, what is this? I don't know. So, but then people said it sounds like it could pass for like gospel. And then when I hear it again, I was like, wait, it is true. Gravity could be the devil. And then me, like, and stuff like that. So I was like, oh wait, it does sound like it could be, you can sing it. And I mean, it's uplifting. It also sounds like a prayer. like when you're praying, like, like things are trying to take you down, but you're not gonna let it. I don't know. But it could be, yeah. Sometimes you're influenced by things subconsciously,
Yeah, of
right?
course.
Like it could be, if I didn't grow up going to church, I probably would have never written a song like that, because I probably wouldn't know to use those words. So even though that's not what I was trying to do, which again, I still wouldn't call it gospel, but people can definitely sing it in church and sing it, in church, people can sing it. People who wouldn't sing my song, like I'ma Hit You Up, for example, would sing that. You know what I mean? Some people wouldn't sing like Ooh La La, but they would sing that. You know what I mean? Because who doesn't? It's kind of like a song that I feel like a lot of people relate to. A lot of people definitely, everyone at some point in life, you always feel like there's something holding you back, dragging you down, and you're fighting and you're just fighting. It's like constant, I mean, that's life, right? Every time we're always fighting. I'm fighting right now.
And this is Rise, not Stay Out of Sight, right? That
Yeah,
you're
this
talking.
is right. Right. I feel like I pray and hope I never have a reason to write a song like Stay Out of Sight again. I just
Mm,
hope and I pray and I avoid any situation that I ever feel like could lead there. I am not going back to that feeling ever again. I'm
mm,
done.
yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Well, yeah. When did you? I know we discussed this before, but when did you kind of come over to America, and also like how did you? Was growing up in Nigeria, you think pretty influential on your musicality and your singing and all that?
Um, well, in my family, most people on my mom's side can sing. My
Mhm.
aunt's the one who found my notes, who said my songwriting was really good. She was like, she's in the choir. Her voice is amazing. I get chills when she's singing. People always, and she's, she does it. She's been doing it since she was little. My mom, when she was younger, she told me she used to like sing, like in the school they always made her like the lead singer and things like that. And then my aunt, right, that had that was a pastor, she's my mom's older sister, all her kids are like in the choir, and like they sing beautifully. So like I grew up amongst people who can sing, even though I was the one that they never used to hear me sing, because you would hear me sing, they'll hear me sing in the bathroom and be like, wow, that was you. Or like or like I'll just sing like maybe a song that I love is playing and I'm singing along with it and be like, wait, who was that? I heard somebody was singing along, and I just like keep quiet. Because I was very shy growing up. Right now I'm not so shy anymore, but growing up I was very, very shy. Like I think I started overcoming my fear of singing with, I think karaoke was what helped me like do that. Because the first time I went to karaoke, I was like, you know what? Worst case scenario, they don't like my singing and I never show my face here again. So then I go on stage, I sing, and just like the way the first song that I sang, I was too nervous and I did a horrible job. And then, but it was karaoke. Nobody came there expecting you to sing like an angel, right? And then I was like, okay, it's fine. I'll do a second song, you do the second. And then when I did the second song, everybody was shocked. Everybody, and I think the shock came mostly from the person who's doing the song. We just saw her perform a different song, and it was not, it wasn't, it didn't, you know what I mean? Like it was not good. And then for her to go back up there and then do a different song, and everybody was shocked. Like people were like, oh my God. Like everybody was talking, everybody was like screaming my name. They were like, oh my goodness. And I was like, I started going to karaoke more often. And I just kind of that's when I was like, you know what? I think I'm ready to go to the studio. I'm ready to go to the studio. And plus, when I was married to my ex-husband, he didn't want me to do music. So I decided, I was like, you know what? I'll choose love over, if I have the love, I don't need to do all these other things. But then he turned out that he was abusive and he just wasn't. And I was like, I looked at myself, I was like, what the heck? This is such a joke. Like, you give up. This is something that even though I was super shy and I was scared to do it, I knew at some point I wanted to do it, right? But I didn't know when or how to like get myself to actually do it. So I would write the song. I was writing for other people online, but to like actually get myself to go do the recording and have my own song, it was like it terrified me. But then when the whole thing happened with him and the way he was, that's when I started getting, I was like, you know what, that's around the time I started going to karaoke, and then karaoke made me feel confident. And then I was like, okay, I got this, I got this. And then every time I go to karaoke, like sometimes even on my TikTok, one of the most terms that people use to find me is Juliera karaoke. Like if I go and perform, people are searching my name after, like when I go to karaoke, people are typing my name. And it's like sometimes I go there even, I just, when you just, I don't just go to karaoke to like try to show off. I love going to karaoke. Like if I just, even if I don't have my voice, like I have a cold or something, if I want to go to karaoke, I'm going to go to karaoke. I don't care if I sing amazing or not. I'm there to have fun. It's what I love doing. I want to watch other people sing. I want to get on stage and sing. And I just do it because I know some people who would never, unless they feel like their voice is at 100%. But for me, I do it for the fun of it, for the love of it, for everything of it. So regardless, I still go to the karaoke.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Great. Well, I think we can wrap up. I just wanted to ask you quickly though, what kind of you have on the horizon in the future, if you got any shows, any more kind of songs down in the can. I was trying to look, it didn't seem like you were really posting much about this song. You just kind of like threw it out there and then weren't gonna do anything.
No, I'm working on doing that more because I tend to like work a lot. So then I did post on TikTok. I don't know if you saw it on TikTok. It has like over 1 million views already.
Great.
On TikTok. Yeah, I did post it on TikTok, and I'm getting a lot of interactions, a lot of love on TikTok. I intended to post it on Instagram the next day. I didn't get to. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it the second day and the third day, and I just didn't get to. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it at some point. I will do it at some point. Yeah, but there's no rush, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're all really excited that your stuff's doing well, and we think it's great, and looking forward to being
Oh,
home.
and somebody did a short video on YouTube with the song,
Awesome.
and he did it like 2 days ago, and he already has almost 6 million views.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're getting good use out of it.
Yeah. I was like, wow, when I saw it, because I saw it within the first less than 24 hours, and he had like 3 million. So I was like, oh my gosh. I said, now before this call, he had almost 6 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, so we're excited. Looking forward to you putting out more releases with us, and yeah, let's continue to keep on growing. And yeah, I'm excited for this.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for talking. You said a lot of great stuff.
Did I answer all your questions though?
Well, you just used win. So I had a lot of questions just to be safe, but I think you pretty much covered everything just by kind of what you were talking through.
Talking and talking.
So no, you did a great job.
Okay, thank you.